He's one of the dopest engineers in the game. The head engineer exclusively for Prodigy of Mobb Deep. 10 Prodigy of Mobb Deep albums. The Hegelian Dialectic. The Book of Revelation.
It's a pleasure, man. That body of work is crazy. I mean,
Joe the engineer. Now we do this shit, nigga.
333. That's a sign from the heavens. Just look up in the heavens.
What up? What the fuck is up? It's 187 million degrees in New York right now, everybody. You could not have had more fortuitous timing.
Yo.
Theme song just ended.
Nice.
Yeah, running a little bit late, man. Just got off the golf course.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
Yeah, this was not white people weather. That's what I kept telling. Oh, look at Roger Harper with the cut beard. Oh no, it's superpowers.
Let me down.
Oh man,
It's too hot for all that shit, huh, Roger Harper?
everybody got the beater on today. Hot in the motherfucker, ain't it?
Yo, man, listen.
Hey, you got two people who live in New York that will tell you this was one of them days. This is one of them motherfucking days in New York.
It is. It's humid as fuck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was out early as hell too.
Yeah, I think we topped out at 103 today. It was nice.
We was at 93 today.
All right. Yeah, I was out in that thing.
Yeah, I was too. From four till I teed off at 4. I was done at around 6:30. So I wasn't out there, or 7:30. I wasn't out there long, but it was hot as fuck.
Oh yeah.
It's hot as fuck right now. Shit.
Yeah, but Roger Harper, I always play golf when it's this hot because there's nobody else out there. Nobody's stupid.
I know that's right. You get your good practice in.
Yeah, I'm the only idiot out there. I will.
On 2 hours. I was going to say, would you play 8 holes? 16?
I will.
2 hours.
I will tell you. My legs are cramping up right now. I'm fuck. Running on empty. It was hot.
Some aloe juice.
It was hot as shit out there today.
Uh,
So I did get confirmation from Nice that he will be joining us later on. He's got what the fuck? He's going to be in the studio working on part 2 of his project series with him and Have.
what's up?
So
Also, don't forget pickle juice for cramps. Don't forget pickle juice.
Oh, pickle juice. Yeah.
Right.
Help with the dehydration.
Hell yeah.
Cramps and shit like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, my legs is tired. So I told Nice, since he will be joining us later, that we won't talk about basketball until he gets on.
All right.
And he also did.
LeBron guy.
Yeah.
What do we got to talk about? Vacation spots?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. He also, I will get, it's good news though, he did confirm he's in for September 9th at Meadowlands, so there will be all 4 of us will be in attendance.
That's what's up. Is it the 9th or the 19th, Joe?
Whatever, I'm fucking tired and
19th.
dehydrated.
Don't have me. All right, I can get my dates right, man.
Man booking the wrong dates, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I forget.
fool around and be a Billy Joel concert in life.
Hell nah. I'll be salty as hell.
You probably had the time of your life though. Low key.
Yeah.
I bet. I'm sure he got the old school
Piano man.
70s and 80s shit I done heard.
Oh
Yep.
shit, that is hilarious. So, what's been going on in the NFL this week? Anything big happen that we want to talk
Hell
about?
yeah. Dan Snyder's wife got half
Half?
of the team.
She got half?
Well, she co-CEO, so she got half of what he got.
Wow.
So
They going through a divorce or something?
Nah, they still together. See, instead of giving her a pink diamond, as you know, that's happened to try to like calm the waters. She ended up getting half the damn CEO position.
I wonder if him buying out the rest of the minority owners has anything to do with this.
Absolutely, hell yeah. Plus, I mean, everybody knows that she knows how he was getting down.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, I forgot about him and Jay Gruden and their
exactly. Cruises with a whole bunch, just a whole harem. So this is him like, yeah, don't divorce me here. Have half of this position real quick.
I wonder if she's going to try to do anything or if she's just going to take those checks.
Yeah, it's cheaper to keep her.
I know. I wonder
And
if
if
she.
something happens to him, she got the team.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if she's going to like try to influence like some power in the football decision making.
We'll see. She's one of like 3, 4 tops women that are in this position.
Well, I will say this: I don't care what your reproductive anatomy is. Everybody's going to be better than Dan Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody's an upgrade. I don't give a fuck if you got both of them, one of them, or none of them. Anybody's an upgrade from Dan Snyder.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about the on-field product
At all.
because he's making money regardless.
So you've got her now. Is it the Rams? No.
Yeah,
Is it-
Frontier, Georgia Frontier,
Yeah, the Rams, and then the
Detroit,
Detroit, and the Bills.
Bills.
The Bills, because his Terry Pagulia's wife actually runs the team, and everyone knows it. That's like her thing.
Right.
Because he also owns the Sabres and a soccer team, so that guy's a little bit busy.
Yeah.
She's doing a great job though. Ever since she took over the team owner, like of that position, they've been doing really well.
Bills have been rocking. Oh, hello.
It's my grandbaby, fellas.
What's up, little one?
Her name is Charlie.
What's up, Charlie?
Say hi. Say hi.
Oh, okay. No Charlie Choo Choo? You playing Charlie Chaplin right now. Silent movie.
Yeah, Roger Harper said it's too damn hot for all this beard, man. He said I
trimmed it down.
He said got my chest sweating with his beard on top of it.
Yeah, it's hot motherfucker. It's humid as hell right now. We got a little rain going on.
Oh, yeah. Boy.
Sitting outside.
I'm from the northern part of West Virginia, man. People underestimate the humidity of that part of the country. It's oppressive.
Yeah, that's true.
It is oppressive there.
Yes, it is.
I mean, if you weren't in the sun, it wasn't that bad in New York today.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but if you from here, you walk with pace.
Yes.
So you're gonna get hot. I walked about 5 blocks and I was drenched.
Yeah, I know, Carrie. Everybody always says whenever they come visit, they have a hard time keeping up.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta really have city legs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do it on purpose. That's just the city pace. I'm just going at the pace. It's like driving on the Autobahn. You're going to be going like 90. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah, I don't know about city pace today, man. You didn't keep that up for very long. It was fucking hot, man.
That's why they don't understand why Southern people move slow and why they get real aggravated quickly. They don't got time for the bullshit. It's too hot. It's too hot.
Yes, it is.
You even talking near them, it's too hot. Blowing your hot ass breath on them.
That's how I feel about my dog right now. Just like, dude, all that fur, that hot breath, you're too much. It's too much.
You don't shave him down in the summer?
You can't.
Really?
Yeah, his hair won't grow back properly if you shave him down. He got 3 coats. Top layer, mid layer, and the bottom layer. The bottom layer is the one, it's so, like, interwoven, you literally cannot see his skin.
Mm.
And it actually keeps the sun and heat off of his skin, that last layer.
Okay.
But I will tell you, boy, that top layer is baking hot. Like, you
Yeah.
just be like, damn, dude, how the fuck are you even doing this right now?
That's why he loves the snow, though.
Yes. Yo, Roger Harper, you should have seen it in the wintertime, man. There's like 18 inches of snow. This motherfucker's sleeping in the backyard.
Yeah.
Like looking at me, like hitting the door, like, you want to let me out or what? And going and sleeping in a snow pile. And I'm watching him like, are you serious?
Natural habitat. You know what I mean?
Damn.
All right. So, what do we got going on? Tight End University happened this week.
Who?
Tight End University happened this week. So, all these position groups are starting to have like summits and you know, conferences and whatnot.
Sure.
They did not invite Tim Tebow to the tight end conference, though.
Yeah, I've seen something like that. The article, I didn't read the article, but it said Tim Tebow was looking for a new position or some shit.
Yeah, I told you. Team chaplain. I already.
Oh, there you go. That's that Team Chaplain job he was looking
Yeah.
for. They're going to give him that job.
Yeah.
He
was in the rectory.
did his job. He already sold jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got to keep them around for a couple weeks to sell tickets, though, until they see that the team's not any good, and then they'll just, you know, abandon them as always.
Yeah.
All right, so before we even get into what's going on now, we've been running this thread because the Olympics are happening. So, track and field trials.
To that 17-year-old young man who made it to the Olympics in the 200. Yeah.
That kid is 17 years old going to the Olympics in the 200. That kid can fly.
Massive accomplishment. Massive.
So the reason I bring that up, we talked about it last week. There are records being broken left and right. They're just falling all over the place. Which, you know, during the Roni, these are athletes. They couldn't work. They're going to work out and train.
Training. And the training these days is just different.
Yeah.
Recover faster, you just it's less stress on your joints, and you're working, you get real specific in the muscle groups you're working and just the movements.
Well, the science and the diet behind everything.
If it makes sense to do that movement for your particular sport.
Yeah, no, they are beginning highly specialized, but track, there's been records. But Sydney McLaughlin, that chick can fly. Dude, she's the first woman to ever break a 52. Ever.
I know.
Ever.
Then,
she's only like 21 years old.
And then Shorty who won her 200. She's the only one breaking 22 right now.
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah, her and then Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah.
She can absolutely fly. And
she's not even a great starter. If she fixed her start, I'm telling you, she'd run a 10-3.
She's also only 21 years old, so she has another Olympics to look forward to where she will actually be at her peak.
I think before it's all said and done, I think she'll run a 10-3.
It's impressive. It's been impressive. She
may end up being the fastest woman we've ever seen.
So I know we always talk about dominant athletes, and there's like, you know, the Mount Rushmore of dominant athletes. And I always like to throw Serena in there because people like to forget about the female side of
today.
But I would actually like to put somebody else above her. Simone Biles might be the most dominant athlete I have ever seen
I know you
in respect to her field.
for sure.
It's not even the same sport what she's doing.
Right.
So what? All right. So I got a twin sister. So you have to share the TV growing up. So during the Olympics, she gets to watch some things. I get to watch some things. So the floor exercise was always something that was always watched, guaranteed. Right.
Floor exercise is dope.
I've been watching the floor exercise basically my entire life. I have never seen an athlete that whenever they set in the corner and get set to go do a run, that doesn't pause and breathe and prepare themselves. That chick doesn't even hesitate. She hits the corner, turns, and takes off. I was like, whoa, this is so different. It's completely different.
Nothing to think about.
Dude, it's absolutely incredible. Incredible.
He gets upset at the routines that only she can do that she doesn't feel like she nailed all the way. But only she can do them anyway. She's the only one who can do them. But she gets upset if she didn't feel like she did it all the way to her full.
Well, see, the beauty of this is what she's done is she will be the only one for a little bit. It's just going to open up the door of everyone else being like, "Oh, it can be done." So it's like in the X Games, the first time somebody did a backflip,
Sure.
then everybody was like, "Oh shit, you can do it." Now people are doing double backflips with fucking twists and shit like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just somebody.
And Simone actually has one of the younger gymnasts had her come down to Houston to train with her. So I mean, this is happening. You're training with someone like that. You're bound to start picking some things up and just really testing the limits to what you do.
That's exactly what they're doing. And she's at the point where she's at the Tiger Woods point. She can only beat what she's done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have to all right, now I have to push it farther.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's incredible, dude. It's So I watched this.
Fun fact about her: she was born and raised in Columbus, Ohio, fellas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but she represents H-Town now, so you know.
Yeah, she does. She does.
She probably said West Virginia once in her life, somewhere along the line. I'll take it.
Let's say Springtown, Texas.
Yeah,
Spring.
Spring. Yeah.
Yeah, it's impressive, dude. So I watched the sports science behind, like the actual numbers behind what she's doing. Dude, no one else is even close.
Yeah.
Because the amount of space that you have is so short that nobody else can even get up to enough speed to achieve what she does.
So I remember I think this was her first Olympics, and she was on a team. There was a couple girls older than her who were the favorites, especially this one. I'm blanking on her name right now. Well, and she was the favorite to be the best, and get the gold and all this. And Simone just beat her in every single thing, and she just came out of nowhere. And then, I mean, to the point where the one who was the favorite, it's like she wanted to cheer for Simone, but really couldn't because she was like, "That's supposed to be me right now." It's like she didn't understand what was happening. Just like everybody else. Everybody else didn't understand what was happening right in front of them. And then the next time they went out, they were like, "Oh yeah, Simone is clearly the best." Like, clearly.
Yeah, she had a Vince Carter dunk contest performance where everybody was just like, "Did you just see what happened?" See, she's so advanced that you don't actually even see what she does until they do the replay and slow it down. There's so much going on, you have to slow it down to actually catch it. It's fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing.
You have to build up so much speed and momentum.
Exactly.
So you can hit those rotations like that. Yeah, you're not going to catch it unless you slow it down. I mean, these cameras we have today are incredible.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. The Olympics this year are going to be great because especially that, I don't know what camera that is where it looks like a video game where it's that 12K or whatever where it's ultra focused up front and then kind of hazy in the back a little bit. Yeah, that shit's fucking awesome.
They do that with the NBA games and football games.
Dude, that shit's amazing. That shit's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Olympics. It's going to be awesome. It always is fun.
It's like the Olympics haven't been on in forever. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I haven't watched the Olympics in 10 years. Exactly, because it was supposed to be 2 years ago. 2020. I mean, so so long ago.
It was 2020, so they had to skip that because of the Roni, so they moved to 2022. This is supposed to be Winter Olympics this year.
So you think about it, Usain Bolt retired, so who are we looking at in the 100 and 200? I mean, we used to know, like, we used to know who to root for in the 400. Like, we used to know who the top guys were. I don't know if I just know who the it's like you have teenagers making it now. It's crazy.
Dude, there's a 14-year-old diver that made it for the U.S. squad.
There was a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old who I don't know. She made it to the final of the women's 800. I don't know if she made it through, but I mean that's what I'm saying. It's like it's crazy these days. The ages that they are to be as advanced on the level of competition where they actually are a factor.
Well, you know what's funny, Kerry? So,
ready.
Well, see, the thing that has happened. So you have these like Diamond League track leagues, right? These like professional events. So you have track athletes who are turning pro early, not even finishing college. So you have athletes that get picked up by Gatorade or Nike or whatever, Reebok.
You got to get the sponsorship.
They get early, and that allows them to just go and train instead of having to be a UPS driver during the day. Remember the Olympics used to be.
Yeah.
Remember they always used to have like the commercials of what everybody did in their day job.
Yeah.
That ain't like that anymore. These people.
Ryan was an accountant or some nonsense.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, they do that shit now. That's all they do.
Yeah.
Because as an athlete, you can make yourself into a commodity. Your diet, your workout, you can do a clothing, athletic line, apparel, all this stuff you can do, so you don't have to go. It's great because you're going to continue to see records fall left and right because now you have athletes that are just dedicated to just this. I think it's awesome. I think it's dope. So what do you guys think? One last thing about the Olympics. What do you think about the hammer throw girl that turned her back when they played the national anthem and then got pissed off and said that they tried to set her up?
Wow.
I know nothing about that.
All right, so she got third place in the trials, which means she's going to Tokyo.
Okay.
So it's the USA trials, so they don't play any national anthem on the podium. It's always going to be the U.S. national anthem. Okay. So for days, as people are winning and qualifying, no national anthem. But at 5:20 on the dot every day for the evening session to start, they play the national anthem. It just so happened that they finished the hammer throw at like 5:17. They went up onto the podium, and as soon as they walked up there, the national anthem played, and it pissed her off. So she turned her back.
Oh.
And that pissed everyone off because they're just like, yo, this is like the Olympics. You're supposed to go represent the country. If you don't want to, then don't fucking go. And then her response was, they did it on purpose. They set me up. Of course, she played the victim because she's like, they didn't play the national anthem all day until I went up there. So now it's like, now she's made it about her, and it's like a big deal. And so then you have an alternate. This individual didn't even make the BMX freestyle team. They're an alternate. Transgender. I can't remember which way they're going, which way they're transitioning, but this individual said their stated goal is to win the Olympics and then burn an American flag on the podium in front of the world.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
I mean,
here, Gwen, the lady you talking about, the hammer throw, she's an activist too, so shit, she's got to be on something.
Yeah, she's just like, they did, so everybody remembers Tommy Morris, right?
Yeah.
Everybody remembers it, right? So it's like a historic moment. After that, they changed the rules to where you cannot demonstrate in any way whatsoever on the podium. And so I watched a thing about it, and the reasoning behind it is this is an international stage.
I mean, John Carlos and Tommy.
Did I have his name wrong? God damn it. It was a long day.
John Carlos and Tommy.
Tommy something. I knew I was Tommy something.
It'll come.
Yeah, it'll pop up. But anyway, so they changed the rule because they had said on an international stage there could be severe repercussions for demonstrating. So, say somebody,
Even the cat daddy who came in third. I mean, it's Tommy Smith. I'm pretty sure. Tommy
Smith
Smith
is okay.
Yeah.
So they
So the Australian who also medaled, he didn't do the fist, but he wore a pin was stating just like freedom, and it was his way of being in solidarity with them. And then when he went home to Australia turned their backs on him.
of course they did.
Last name was Brown. They turned their backs on him. He was no longer able to make the national team, even though he was one of their best sprinters ever. He ended up dying in like anonymity. Like this story got fucked up. But then the Australian government didn't apologize to him until somewhere in the early 2000s. Like this was 1968. They didn't apologize to somewhere in the early 2000s. And now they're trying to recognize him now that he's dead. You know what I mean? And so Tommy Smith and John Carlos went to Australia to be his pallbearers.
Oh, nice.
Get passed away because
Nice.
They were all they're all brothers in arms. You know
Nice.
what I'm saying?
Good for them. So the example that they gave, and they tried to bring it to modern day geopolitical terms. They said, what if somebody wins, say China wins, somebody from China wins, and then somebody in second or third decides to take a knee in protest of Muslim genocide that happens to be going on in China right now on the international stage, which would then force China to answer questions and whatnot, and then so they're just like, nah, nothing, no protesting, no nothing, no demonstrations, no political statements at all in the Olympics. So it's going to be really interesting to see if the athletes themselves, once they've won, their event's over and they don't have to compete anymore, if they actually will, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that.
If you're all about your cause and what you believe in, absolutely. What rule will stop you? No rule. This is your opportunity to showcase on a world stage how you feel about a particular issue. You don't care about you make the sacrifice. You go in knowing that this is what you're going to do. So, and you're willing to ride for it. So,
I wonder.
This rule, I hear the rule, but if an athlete is that dedicated to whatever they're believing in, I don't give a shit about that rule.
All right, so then we also know the power and control of modern day media. I wonder how quickly they will just divert the cameras away from anything and not even show it.
They'll black that out.
Yeah.
They'll have
It'll be a delay.
plans. They'll have contingency plans in place just in case they won't show it. They'll show the crowd. They'll if they even keep it in the stadium, or they'll have commercials queued up. So
Well, I also believe they'll probably operate on like a 5 to 10 second delay, broadcast delay, just to be ahead of it.
commentators and analysts, they won't show it.
Plus, Roger Harper, you know this. You guys know anytime a fan runs onto an NFL field, they are so quick to divert to something else. The announcers start talking about something.
Yeah, we gotta see the real thing on Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah. The NFL is excellent at not glorifying somebody running onto the field.
Well, I mean, they used Nipplegate to really set in place their 2 to 3 second delays.
Well, honestly, don't you think litigation-wise that it's wise to do that? Because in this modern era that we live in, especially given how ridiculously huge athletes are, some drunken fan comes running out on the field and gets leveled Dick Butkus style now and ends up in a coma or something, the entire league gets sued.
Well, who asked for it?
Yeah, I know, but you know how the game works. You know how the game works.
I get it, but I'm saying there's instigation, and then there's resolution.
Well, I mean, I think the NFL on the back of the ticket, whenever you buy a ticket in the fine print, it should say that if you run onto the field, the NFL is, not liable for anything that happens to you.
And when you get on roller coasters, there's sometimes you got to sign a waiver. Sometimes you do certain things, you got to sign a waiver. Like, if the parachute don't open, hey.
I mean, shit. I've seen hot wings that you got to sign a waiver for.
Exactly. And then we're going to sign a waiver. So if you get your teeth knocked down your throat, hey, you ran onto the field. Would you just run into a den of lions? Would you just do that? For what? Why would you do that?
Yeah, but the world.
You deserve what you get.
Yeah, the world's different too, because the guy, whoever got leveled by Buckus or whatever, that guy didn't sue nobody.
Mm-mm. Even Mike Curtis, when it was the Baltimore Colts, had to clothesline somebody. You can YouTube that. Mike Curtis, Baltimore Colts versus fan. You'll see it.
Yeah. I mean, everybody remembers the Malice in the Palace. So we know what Jermaine O'Neal did to Hobie, who squared up to him. Huh, eat that. What are you doing? You're 2/3 shorter than me, and you're fat. Get out of here. These are professional athletes.
And I'm a professional athlete.
With a long
It's
ass.
paid to work out.
Like Roger Arbor said, with an 8.5-foot reach. Whack.
I'm in the gym.
And
I'm in the gym. I do reps and sets by accident. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because I'm there and I'm bored and I'm like, let me just knock this 10 out real quick.
I don't know his backstory at all, but I am willing to wager, given how early that he was drafted into the league and the time period and how the world was during that period, he probably didn't have the best background either. So he probably had some hands.
Listen, remember what Bradley Beal said earlier in these playoffs? He said when fans were doing crazy shit, he said, listen, yeah, and you see it, I'm a professional basketball player, all that. I'm also from East St. Louis.
Yeah, he said, I got hands. So
I got hands. Like, and people forget, these people are from different places.
Yeah.
And you would never go to the places where they're from. No way. There's no way you would. So why you acting tough now? Now you're in a crowd. You know what I'm saying? It's coward.
I mean, okay, like coward. Maybe Jermaine O'Neal, I guess you don't understand how big they are when you see them on TV, but you can see how big Ron Artest's shoulders and how big he is. TV, in person. Who was trying to fight this dude?
All you have to do is this. If you sit 8 hours a day and whatever it is you do to get money, and that 8 hours a day, this person is engaged in some sort of physical activity, getting their physical fitness together, while you sitting your fat ass down banging on some keys for 8 hours a day, what you think you're going to do if you get into a scrap?
You're losing.
Come on now. What you think?
And on top of that, this is a pack mentality. These guys all have the same uniform on. They're going to fight for each other, you retard.
Even if the person who started it is in the wrong, they're still going to have his back.
Yeah, that wasn't Andy Dalton that got hit with a drink cup. That was Ron Artest. They're going to fight for that guy. They would have let Andy Dalton lay there with fucking Gatorade beer all over his chest and shit.
Oh, man, just the most disrespectful.
Dude, I'm never going to forget that. That is the most disrespectful thing I have ever seen in sports.
Seriously, man. On any level, I've never seen that.
I've seen people spitting, Bill Romanowski spitting people's mouths, and that wasn't even as disrespectful.
He Stokes' mouth.
I mean, that shit was so recognizable. It was like, what the fuck is going on?
Everyone who's ever played any sport in the history of their life knew what that meant. Like, wait a minute, what? Whoa, shit.
Yeah.
And then if you've played football, which is, everybody's the sheer number of people who have at least played high school football is just astronomical, right? Mm-hmm. Then you know what that means. So everyone knew what the fuck that meant. It was like, Wow, you really hate
There
that
was
guy.
no way Andy Dalton was ever going to return to Dallas ever again.
I remember we said it, Kerry. After it happened, we were just like, "Yo, if I was him, I wouldn't even. I wouldn't go back the rest of the season."
Oh, I'd be like, Jerry, give me my chips now. Come on now.
You saw what they just did to me. Pay me, and
Start Beneducci, whatever his name.
yeah, anybody but me. All right, so shout out to my homie Wop, who I've been so goddamn busy that I forgot that Javante Davis was fighting this weekend. I don't know if you guys watched that fight.
I missed the fight, but I caught the highlight. And come on, Javante Davis got some serious hands.
First of all, he got lead weights in that left hand. That shit is absolute knockout status.
I mean, I would actually go. I would go to the arena for that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's exciting.
I went to go see Bud fight. You know what I'm saying? I went to go see Bud fight. That ended in a little controversy. That's when they were saying he went low. Whatever. That other dude didn't want to smoke.
Yeah, I got to go watch the Keith Thurman and Sean Porter title fight at Barclays, and it was dope. It was dope. It was a good fight.
Well, I caught mine at MSG, but Barclays is another dope. I like Barclays as a venue.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It sounds good. There's enough room in there. You're not all jammed on each other. It's nice.
I like Barclays better for events.
But anyway, first of all, Barrios was like 1.5 feet taller than this dude.
Yeah.
He could not get within his jab for like the first 4 rounds and was actually losing on the scorecard if you want to go boxing wise.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting. Carlos, what up? Flea, what up? So you could hear Mayweather in the corner tell him what to do because he could not figure out how to close that gap. And he told him, you have to block his jab. So from that moment on, he started just holding his right hand out and blocking his jab and then coming up under him and started absolutely beating the shit out of him. And once he started to wear on him, those last 2 rounds, he didn't block shit. He let him jab him and just went straight through them for the next 2 rounds because there was nothing left. So Mayweather actually gave him the strategy because he was losing. And he told him, you could hear him, he told him exactly what to do. And from that moment on, it was destruction. I was just like, people forget, Mayweather might not be able to read. He might blow $1 trillion on stupid shit, but this is the best tactical boxer who has ever lived.
He also might make $1 trillion on some stupid shit, too.
He made $100 million off that Logan Paul fight.
Listen to me when I tell you this. People make fun of Money Mayweather. His name is literally Money Mayweather. You make fun of him all you want. What does he care? He's making money. And he's making money doing these exhibition fights knowing he can whoop the absolute snot and piss out of all these people. And he's just putting on a show because it's literally called an exhibition. So he's going to take it the entire way knowing he's not going to get hurt. And knowing that he's just going to coast until and score enough, hit, not get hit, boom. Maybe let you get one in to make you believe, make the people believe, so they keep coming back. It's like it's like the sidewalk hustlers. Oh, where's the thing at? Oh, here's the 3 cups and all that on, and you got the homie in on it, and then you think you get so close, you win a little bit, you lose a little bit. You think you actually have a chance to win all the time. Before you know it, your whole 2-week check is blown. You know what I'm saying? And the homies are drinking on you.
So I would say that, he does train under Floyd, so Floyd knows.
Mm-hmm.
This would be one of the very few fighters who have existed that could beat Floyd. He could beat him if they fought him because he's got so much power that if he catches him, he could put him down. Which, score-wise, you might get a 8-point round out of Floyd or a 7-point round like he did to Barrios.
Right now. You know what I'm saying?
I know, I'm just saying, you haven't seen very many. Like, Pacquiao at his peak represented a real chance. And Floyd did a really good job of marketing himself as the heel. You tuned in because you wanted to see if somebody can beat this asshole.
Sure.
He did a great job at that. And
yeah, but here's the thing. When he was just being the technical guy and the best technical boxer out there, what did they do? You You know what I'm saying? During his Olympic run, what did they try to do to him? You know what I mean? Like early on, he was winning fights, but it wasn't anything. So he said, okay, how do I change this? And as soon as he became money made, boom. Once he became a heel, boom. Look, just like Rock, just like the wrestling, The Rock. They didn't know what to do with him. He was like a good guy at first. And then he started coming with that eyebrow and then all the catchphrases and having people hate him. Yeah, people want to see his shit get kicked out of him.
Yeah, now that guy's about to be president in like 2036 or whenever he said he's going to run.
And just a year or two ago, he was the highest paid actor in fucking Hollywood. Highest paid actor. Actor. In Hollywood. This guy's a great entertainer. He's the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
He's America's version of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
He is. He's the hood Arnold Schwarzenegger, man.
Yeah. So
he picks up heavy things, puts them back down. He acts in terrible movies and makes $100 million. He's about to be in a political figure. This is Arnold. He got to marry a Kennedy now.
You just tap in. You tap into the consciousness of the people, and you see what they don't like. It's like Andy Kaufman, right?
All right. So this thing's going to shut down before we get into Andy Kaufman. Let me shut this down, and I'll open up a new one, and then we'll get right back to where we were in this one. All right, so, yeah, Gervonta Davis. Flea, I know you watched that fight. I know you did. That shit was exciting. I want to see that guy fight everybody now. All right, let me send an invite. And I think we might get an appearance by Nice. Around 9 o'clock, he said he might be able to pop in. Yeah, nah, it was, Flea, that fight was excellent. Excellent fight. Especially, when you get a knockout in the 11th round, it was a good one. He had to work, like really, really work to make that happen. And no matter how much power he has, he knew it wasn't going to happen in the first couple rounds. But after he figured it out, then he literally just started swinging for the knockout. He just started eating punches and... he hit homie with a left uppercut to his sternum. It wasn't even like a body shot. He hit him in his soul. Like it was literally dead in the center of his universe, and he dropped immediately. How long do you think that Barrios is going to be pissing blood after that body shot he took?
Yeah, a few days.
Dude, he hit him and he took his soul with that one.
Yeah, a few days. I mean...
All right, so Roy Jones used to be good at the body shot knockout, right?
Roy Jones was excellent at that.
Kerry, you remember seeing it from our era. It happened a lot, but you would always see that delay. They'd be like, get hit and be like, ah.
Hopkins was really good at that. B-Hop.
That body shot.
You hit him with, especially if you hit him in that kidney shot, and they can't get up. They can't. They're done. They're down.
This one was different because he hit him. He dropped immediately.
Yeah.
It's rare that you see him drop instantly from a body shot. There's usually like they try to eat it for a second, and then it's like, oh no, wait a minute, I'm bleeding. Fuck.
Yeah.
He dropped him. He hit him right in the sternum. Like it was.
De La Hoya got dropped like that. Felix Trinidad got dropped like that.
It could definitely happen, but that fight was awesome, dude. That was so good.
I mean, so what would you rather have? Would you rather be pissing blood for a week or have CTE?
Pissing blood for a week, probably.
I mean, I'd have to question my life choices, but yeah.
I don't have to question it because, those football migraines, that shit sucks. I already live with that.
Yeah, no doubt.
I can imagine what a boxer's head is like.
But just like boxers say, you play football, you play basketball, you don't play boxing.
Bro.
So for me, football, I mean, while football's mad serious, it's still a game. Boxing, if someone's trying to throw blows at my face, I'm thinking about my life. I'm thinking about survival. This is not a game.
Yeah, it's completely different. People.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing, there is a different. The style of contact is different because boxing is a repeated culmination of not just what you see in the ring. It's actually more of all those amateur fights.
Right.
All that training,
All that
sparring,
shit.
all
Yeah.
that shit is where most of it comes from.
Sure.
Which is why when you see, even the biggest fighters, when they're in sparring sessions, they wear headgear and shit. Because there's no use in taking that abuse in practice.
Yeah.
Football's a little bit different, man. Those collisions are life-altering.
Yeah. I
Boom.
know.
Life-altering collisions.
Sure. Yeah, your head is a little bit tilted this way, that way. It's a difference if you getting up and walking away or being carted away.
I remember I think it was my freshman year in college, maybe my sophomore year. This corner, he never worked out. He just had incredible ball skills.
Got it.
Literally never worked out. And this tight end caught a pass across the middle. It was like a little 5-yard dig or something. And they met. And they literally, it looked like a human running as fast as they can into a tree. That tight end just stopped. He didn't move at all. It just, and then Roland literally backed off and grabbed his chest and collapsed. And he was the one who hit him. That's what I'm saying. These are life-altering collisions.
Yeah.
Well, he tried them, but that tight end was a little bit bigger than him.
I know. I definitely, I definitely put myself on my own ass a few different times. Going a little bit too high. I should have went a little bit lower. But the juice is flowing, so you just, whatever. You just go all out. Doesn't matter.
What are the hardest hits? As far as just the physics of it, probably the hardest hit that I've ever put out on somebody, they just backed up a couple steps. This was college. It was a starting running back. He was monstrous.
Got it. Yeah.
And this was when I was at my big at 170 pounds, and I had a full sprint.
Yeah.
Boom, and caught him, and he just took 2 steps back. And everyone went, oh, shit. Still didn't put him on his ass. And that's the hardest I've ever hit someone.
Sometimes it's like that.
Oh, I've definitely been run. I've been run over.
Yeah.
More than once in college.
You at least untied the shoe.
Yeah. Well, in high school, man, I tried somebody once at the goal line, and this guy was probably about 210, 215 running back, and it was the goal line. What am I going to do, bite his ankle? He's scoring if I do that. So I knew what was going to happen. I knew it. Yeah, he just big ram on little ram, all that force down, crunched me. The other corner had to come pick me up off the ground and be like, nope, you're not going out.
Well, see, to make it look good, you could have jumped in the air to try to jump over him, to try to suplex him.
Nah, he was big, man.
Coach.
That was a big dude. He'd have just he'd have picked me. He'd have ran me into the end zone and spiked me like I was a football. That was a big fucking dude, man.
But I think I had two major stingers. When we going head to head, I think I had 2 major stingers where for a second, things got tingly, and I was like, but I still feel stuff. But okay, that was a big one. That could have been bad.
Yo, Roger Harper, who
Big time that happened? I'm talking about stingers right now, how you could just, you know what I'm saying, your head position and all that. And I had 2 major ones where I thought it could have been I knock wood to this day because of it.
Yeah, you ever have one of those shots where you really thought you lined somebody up and you guys just met each other? You guys just canceled each other out whack?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Those are the worst.
Oh, yeah, it happened all the time. Shit, you had to play that shit off and get your ass back up.
Mm-hmm.
I talking about shit. I'm talking about,
Dang.
my rookie season. We had a 9 on, with 7-on-7. That's all skill. 7-on-7. I got to the league. It was 9-on-7 with the safety would come down with the interior.
Yeah.
Free safety come down with the interior.
Yeah.
And I was going head to head with Ironhead Hayward. So I got broke in real easy. Quickly.
Come here, little fella. Come here.
His whole name is Ironhead. Yeah.
Yeah, if your name is Ironhead, like.
Yeah, he had the biggest flathead you ever seen in your life.
Yeah, he could have been a comic book villain.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Ironhead superheroes. You know what I'm saying?
He did not have a neck. It was neck to his shoulders and shit,
Yeah.
Nah, his neck was up on the top of his head. It was just in reverse. All that was up here. It was extra head.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I remember on a kickoff once in high school, the head coach was talking to me, and our backup kicker was in for some reason, and I was not paying attention. And without warning, he kicked off, and I was like, oh, shit. And so I just ran as fast as I could, and he happened to lob it to the outside guy. So I just ran. I sprinted like he was the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
And he did the same thing, and we met. Bow! And just went sideways.
Mm-hmm. I've done that a couple times. We was facing this one cat who they claim he ran a 4.3. He was running back. They were like 4.3, 4.3. So first kickoff, run down. I'm thinking he's going to try to make a move since he got all this 4.3 speed, but he doesn't. So I line him up. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Bah! Right, just sideways. We were coming with. I don't think he knew I was coming with as much speed as I was coming with. So I thought he was going to get me. But it didn't happen that way. But
you remember that white dude from the Steelers this year?
Oh yeah,
with Derrick Henry when they met.
Spillane.
All right, so same teams in high school. Our linebacker, who definitely ended up with CTE, like 1,000,000%, and this running back, this team was notorious for putting the biggest player that they had at running back.
Mm-hmm.
So Shane Hiley was built like a rhino. He was like 240.
Yeah.
And a bowling ball, but he was quick. He could move.
Mm-hmm.
And those two met, and it, like, the whole stadium went silent when they met. I can personally guarantee you that Robbie Trowbridge walked away with a concussion on that hit. I saw the look in his face.
And I'm gonna tell you, and that's another thing too, because when we used to do that, we just got our bell rung. And then you hit someone big, and you wake up, you trying to shake it off, and all your teammates smacking you upside the damn head, and you're like, hold up.
I have brain trauma right now. Give me a couple of seconds.
And then you're supposed to make a good play right after that shit. Yeah. So you just don't know about how many times that's happened. And
you know what? That's a good point, Kerry. If I was a quarterback and like a safety or somebody laid somebody out,
yeah,
I would target them on the next play because they got to be a little bit foggy because you're right. Oh, you got 10 people coming over to you and like, yeah, bow.
Like smacking you upside the damn head. Like, yo, man, hold up. Yeah, so I would target that dude next because he's going to be a little hazy.
All right, so funny story before we talk about some NFL football. The hardest hit that I've ever been hit in my life was from one of my own teammates who was celebrating. We're playing West Liberty. I was one of the outside gunners as a freshman. For some reason, this guy let me go or something, and the punt return came this way, and the other guy didn't see me, and I cleaned him. This was back when you could blindside people legally. Boom! Oh, yeah. Cleaned him, and I look up, and Khalil had broke the sideline. I'm like, everybody's like celebrating. Punt return touchdown. Our starting center runs off of the sideline. It's like, fuck yeah! And went wham and hit me. That's the hardest I've ever been hit in my life. Instant concussion. He hit me right in the top of the head. And I didn't know it was coming because we just fucking scored.
Right.
Dude, he literally, I look like an accordion. Like,
yeah. I think about it. Two of my biggest hits were both blind sides. One, a tight end crackbacked on me, and this is a big sucker. He's about 6'5", 260. And nobody called it out. I'm tracking the ball, and next thing I know, I'm on the dirt scrounging for oxygen because I'm like, I didn't know what the hell happened. And another time, I was blitzing off the end, and this quarterback had been killing us. Big, country strong white boy, he had some wheels, good arm, but I had his ass lined up, and he was against the sidelines, so I was about to clean him out. I'm digging in, getting ready to blast on him. All of a sudden, boom! I get knocked back this way. It's my own damn teammate tackling me out the way. I don't know how his target got set on me. Instead of this way, he went this way and knocked me clean out the play.
My worst one was my sophomore year in high school. Played quarterback, threw a damn interception. Man, I'm trying to get in on the tackle. Motherfucker ear hold the shit out of me, broke my collarbone. Hey, fucked me up, man. And,
well, yeah, he was a quarterback. See, that was your first mistake.
Exactly. We didn't have a quarterback to get me the ball, so coach picked me at at quarterback.
I see that. Yeah.
Every play. But ended up being a penalty, and we got the ball back. And I remember the coach trying to call the play. I remember I couldn't remember shit. I just remember that shit vividly.
Yeah.
It knocked my head off and broke my collarbone at the same time.
And you still went back in?
I tried to, but it didn't work.
I'm about to say, damn.
They called the play, sent the play back in. I remember talking in circles and shit, you know? That was my real first experience of a concussion.
Yeah.
And a broken collarbone at the same time.
Yeah, I got ear.
How long did it knock you out? The collarbone.
What's that?
How long did the collarbone knock you out?
Oh, shit, I was done the rest of the season. I missed like the last 5 games of the season.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
You probably missed. Do you play basketball too?
Oh, yeah, I played basketball.
Of course, it's
too.
that era we played everything. So you probably missed the
Exactly.
beginning of basketball season too.
I sure did.
Yeah, I got ear hold by once and did an actual flip and a half sideways, a full rotation and a half before I landed on my right side. That one was fun. Definitely concussed on that one. But since I did grow up in the crackback era, and I am small and have leverage, and those linebackers would lose me amongst the traffic, I did hand out many concussions with the top of the helmet to the bottom of the chin. Whack!
Sure. I mean, yeah, and turnabout is fair play because I know I done. Listen, EMS had to pick him up a couple times, and listen, I did my fair share, so it's only right. You gonna get. I mean, as much as I try to keep my head on a swivel, you get got every once in a while.
There's a lot of shit going on, man. There's a lot of shit going on.
Everybody gets. You play long enough, everybody gets got.
You learn that quote, keep your head on a swivel.
Your head on a swivel, and that stuck with me.
Yeah.
But even so, you know,
Especially,
he'll get caught every now and again.
and Roger Harper learned it quick, sophomore in high school, especially on a turnover. You better start looking because some of their people.
And you the quarterback too, you definitely better keep your head on the swivel because everybody's coming at you.
Hell yeah.
The quarterback on an interception and the putter on a punt return that breaks. You are targets.
You are meat.
Oh my God, I've seen so many putters get their careers ended because they're not built to get hit.
Yeah.
Shit, kickoff return in NFL. I ear hold a kicker, man, and got the big hit of the game and shit.
Yeah.
Push it out quick, but
Yeah.
that was I forgot what team it was, but shit. I mean, I got a couple of those. Big hit on the ear hole and the kicker and shit.
But see, that's why we respect kickers who run down and like are trying to be about it. It's like, okay, you an athlete. That's why you see kickers started getting in the gym like it was Michael Jordan versus the Pistons. They were like, hold up.
Yeah.
We need to get a little bit swole out here.
Well, it helped when Pat McAfee became a kicker and started tackling people because he weighed 245 pounds.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
It's
a
like,
big fucking dude.
It's cute. How they had like a lot of soccer players just come over and you just throw some pads on them, and because they got a great leg, it's all good. This is still a whole nother. It's more than just kicking, my friend. We hit in this league, and ain't no such thing as flopping. You better not flop. No floppies.
Well, that flop happens whenever that punt returner's only got the putter left, and he makes any move. The putter's always just like,
Flops and throws his legs out.
yeah. It grabs his hamstring immediately. Oh shit! You always love that when you cause a fake injury. That's the best. All right, so big news. The courts have sided with the athletes in the NCAA compensation.
Oh yeah, I think that should have been
time.
About time. Exactly, should have been happening. All the blood, sweat, and tears. The guys that pit on the field. Before and after. Myself as a Buckeye. That's well deserved.
That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. And to be in the school when we get hit with penalties, scholarships getting slashed and all that,
coaches leave,
being a part of that whole situation, and then now, even though we had like talent, but in order, and this is Texas, everybody's vying for your talent, and the top schools are the University of Texas and A&M, and then you have Oklahoma right here, and so you know what I'm saying. So to just get, in Houston, if the talent stayed from the city, stayed in Houston, University of Houston would, bar none, be a top 5 school every year. If they kept their basketball talent, they'd be in the top 5 every year.
Well, see, the
question about it.
The converse also happens because if West Virginia was stuck with only inbound or in-home talent, they would be the worst team in the country outside of like Delaware.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, so in order to entice people to stay or to come in from other places, just like any other colleges, universities all over do what they had to do. So once you implement something like this, you give these people a wage. You run out of meal card. My freshman year, my meal card was done. I still had a month and a half, almost 2 months left.
I know these are giant gladiators who are still growing.
5-6 times a day. What am I supposed to do? I'm burning all these calories. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get food.
and let alone the cats that give them a knee or who have a major injury. You know what I'm saying? A knee or shoulder or concussions and shit.
Yes,
they should be compensated for that shit. Mm-hmm. It finally happened. Good for NCAA.
Now, it's interesting how it's going to change the landscape of professional football, though, because are you going to see a even more concentration of power within major schools?
Major leverage.
So you could
especially see that. We talk all the time about which schools produce what. Penn State used to produce linebackers and running backs. USC safeties, maybe running backs, quarterbacks, kind of, but nah.
LSU is quarterback LSU university.
Corners, yes, exactly. Alabama, defensive, offensive linemen,
running backs.
Running backs, you know what I'm saying? So Miami. We
should have been Alabama to just every position. They just sent everybody to the NFL.
Miami, defensive linemen.
Tight end university in Miami.
Tight ends, absolutely. And wide receivers, too. They have dope-ass wide receivers. It's not
Michigan always turns out defensive ends and linebackers.
And return men and corners, yes. So if it's going to get specialized like that, but just, these cats having an opportunity to get a little money in their pockets when everybody else is making so much money on their backs. Think about this. You're Chris Webber, Jalen Rose. You're the hottest team
in the world.
Not just in the country, in the world. You're overseas and you're seeing University of Michigan merchandise, your jersey being sold, and you don't have money. Mm-hmm. Your jersey's being sold overseas, and you don't have money.
So another way that you might see a change in the landscape is you might see possibly an outlier school who has a very, very, very wealthy benefactor start to make some moves, i.e., Oklahoma State came out of nowhere because T. Boone Pickens had billions of dollars and just like, yeah, whatever you guys need. You need a new field. You need a new everything. He spent like $50 million on that. I think it was $100 million actually he gave to that school.
So then start to look at the AAU / these independent schools like IMF Academy, like these specialized schools that bring you in for basketball or football, and they're very highly specialized. Like they have them in Vegas, they have them in Florida, they have them, it's all over the place. And you're going there to play football. You know what I mean?
I think you
guys who, like in Vegas, he started the academy. One of Snoop Dogg's sons went to, and this guy just had a ton of money, and he was like, "Yeah, I want this school. I want to create a school that has the best football and basketball talent in the state." And then he did it, and so I think we're gonna start seeing that on the alumni level in the collegiate ranks, especially if they could be a contributor to now. I mean, they were putting out the money. They were putting the money in the pockets. Anyway.
No, now you can do it.
Now you can actually just do it.
I think you might also see, and would be actually a good thing. You might see some top tier talent now choose like Stanford, Notre Dame, or whatnot because they can go get along with the education that will set them up for the rest of their life easily.
Like some of the talent that could have made it into Stanford.
They will actually go there now because now they can get paid also and not have to worry about the other shit. They won't have a school that might be like, oh, listen, we'll give you a car and we'll even give your mom an apartment or whatever, because that shit happens all the time. Now they might actually choose their education, or at least consider it a lot, because you got a lot of smart people that play sports, like really smart people. And the majority of people who do play sports, even scholarship athletes, do not make it professionally. They go on to do other things with themselves.
Because they have excellent discipline.
Exactly, and that they do. They go on to succeed usually in many other fields because they know how to work as a team. They know about leadership. They know about discipline, schedules, and all that stuff. Especially football players are the most schedule-oriented human beings on the planet. That's why whenever in Roger Harper you can.
3 days.
Roger Harper, what was it like when you retired? How long was it before you figured out what the fuck you were going to do with yourself?
Yeah, took me 3 years to get 50. 3 years, man.
And I'll tell you what, out of any sport, I believe football is the hardest to retire from.
It is.
It is.
Bar none. Like seriously, because you can always. You're a basketball player, there's plenty of YMCAs. There's plenty of parks. You can just show up, like, get shots up. If you're a baseball player, tons of softball leagues all over the place. They have these leagues set up. You can go through that till you're 50, 60, drink beers, whatever. Football, it's never going to be that again.
You might play flag football.
You might play flag, but I'm saying like the top league to play your sport. You didn't go to the click. I always call it the click clack league. You know what I'm saying? You didn't go to the click clack to pull a flag. You go to smack heads.
Well, also
you retire. There's not really a league. There's no leagues for people who did that for so long before that. So it's just you can't get that same sort of feel playing two-hand touch and trying to grab a flag.
You got to think about it. So, Roger, you can confirm this. As a professional athlete, when the season begins, or even when you start to train, it's already like, all right, this is when my season begins. Start training for this upcoming season. From that moment on until the season is over, everything is scripted. All your meals, your workouts, everything that you do, your time is allotted. You don't have to think about anything except maximizing your athletic potential for that season and contributing to your team and also your own career, because this is a profession in the end. So, and then all of a sudden you retire and it's like nobody, there is no breakfast like for the team, and you have to like make food and you have to like go work out on your own. That had to have been the weirdest shit.
That's why you see guys go one or two ways. They either drop a ton of weight or gain a fucking ton of weight.
And I was a guy that gained a bunch of fucking weight.
Sean King was a quarterback at Tulane Green Wave, quarterback to playoff-bound Tampa Bay Bucks. Tony Dungy was the coach, lost the legendary game. Sean King, I saw him as an analyst on one of the shows. I didn't know who he was. I saw him, and they said Sean King, and I was like, Sean King? It's like Sean King, like the quarterback. There's a couple different Sean Kings around. I was like, that's not the same Sean King who played, though. This guy looks like an offensive guard.
Damn.
And then it was confirmed that it was him. But then you see someone like Mark Schlereth, who played, and he was 305 when he played. Now he's like 250, like 230. A lot of the linemen, especially like
the linemen almost. Yeah, the linemen always shrink down because they will tell you, and all of them have said the same thing. It takes so much work to stay at that weight. That's not natural for that frame, for that guy to be at 330 pounds and 10% body fat. It's just not. It takes too much work. And they just, fuck it, I don't have to work out all day and I don't have to eat 12,000 calories a day. And then they just...
You see a lot of the skill positions increase.
Yeah. Keyshawn got fat. His face got real fat.
I'm saying, like, a lot of skill positions where you working out all the time, it's about speed, endurance, and like really, really getting your wind right, and then being as strong as you possibly can. That's what I'm saying. My playing weight was between 195 and 202, and then when I was done, it took a while, but I ended up, for me, it was ballooning to 230. But not a good 230. Like, if it was a good 230, I could have maintained it and held that. But it wasn't, though.
I might be the smallest lineman in the history of the world because after college, I actually dropped weight, and it takes, for me to stay at this right here, it takes work. I have to make sure I eat enough calories a day to maintain this. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's a good thing you smoke, so you get a little appetite.
I mean, this is oxygen to me at this point. This shit don't give me the munchies at all.
Basically, you should have a little tank. Tank. We start marketing that. Don't nobody steal that shit. That's mine.
All right, so no supplemental draft 2 years in a row to be expected. College football's weird. If they gave them an extra year, so if you played college football this year, it didn't count against your eligibility. You can come back and play again.
Great.
Which is good. It should have been that way.
Great. Yeah.
Allow people to opt out who didn't want to play, and don't penalize either people who played or opted out.
Right thing to do.
All right, so let's see. Well, the Hawks are up right now. They're going to even up the series. The NBA needs that. Whatever. All right, so
without Ice Tray.
Let's see.
Definitely the Darth Vader of the league right now.
Yeah. Nothing else really going on in the league. So let's talk about these Arizona Cardinals. Clearly the biggest move, J.J. Watt comes to town.
Absolutely.
So, Kerry, we talked about this very, very early on whenever they were when they released him.
Yep.
And I was saying, go to the Chargers, assume the leadership role in the locker room so that your young quarterback doesn't have to.
Yep.
Pretty much the same thing's happening. It's young quarterback, Kyler Murray doesn't have to be the leader. This guy doesn't even know if he wants to play football right now. He can't be the leader. He's still wavering. He still says he might play professional baseball. So allow J.J. Watt to be the leader. You still have Larry Fitzgerald. Do they? I don't know. They haven't said he's coming back. He hasn't said he's retiring.
Larry's getting all the time in the world, which he should. Here's what's happening. Arizona is doing the passive-aggressive shit by getting all the wide receivers that they can get. They got A.J. Green. Then they signed another wide receiver. Then they drafted a couple wide receivers. They're not going to tell Larry Fitzgerald it's time for you to retire. They did the passive aggressive shit by just continuing to get other players at that position.
Shit, I didn't know we had Isaac Hayes tonight.
So stupid.
I had to do it. I had to do it, man. The lighting is perfect right now. It literally. I was like, oh shit, that's Isaac Hayes. What the fuck?
Chef?
No, you got
So anyway,
but he'll be allowed to do whatever. He'll be allowed to do whatever he wants.
I do find it interesting.
Now I can think about his tree fitting.
How much you want about tree fitting?
About tree fitting.
So it's odd you bring AJ Green in at this stage in his career because that's basically Larry Fitzgerald of a couple years ago.
Sure.
So you're literally trying to force this guy out.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's Larry Fitzgerald. You can't make him.
So that's what I'm saying. This is the passive aggressiveness I'm talking about. They're not going to tell Larry Fitz, hey, it's time, but they're just going to keep bringing in people at that position. So the best idea is the idea that people think that they get themselves, but that you've implanted into them. So that's what they're trying to do right now by getting all these guys. And who hates Larry Fitzgerald?
We all know how smart he is too.
The most beloved player in the entire league,
outside of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Sure.
But we also know how smart Larry Fitzgerald is. So he's smart enough to hold out because we know he wants to be a team owner.
He wants to be an owner.
So he can.
He ask everybody the questions. This is what he does. This is what he's known for. If you know him, he's asked you a million questions, and he knows everything about you, but you don't know that much about him. So Larry Fitzgerald is going to be a monster in this league post-retirement. Watch what I tell you.
Yeah, no. So he could hold out and leverage that because you know what happens. So every time that a player becomes successful enough to become part owner or owner of a team, they never get to buy the team they played for.
No.
They always end up buying some random team like Jordan bought the Hornets or the Bobcats at the time.
Dwayne Wade is part of the Utah Jazz.
Exactly.
Group.
That shit's fucking weird. Like, how are you not just part owner of the Heat? You basically help build them into their current iteration. It's fucking weird.
I know. Don't seem right.
So, I mean, Larry Fitzgerald is basically, if you say Arizona Cardinals at this point in their history, he's the first face that should come up in their total history.
Him and Rod Tidwell.
Exactly.
Got that Quan, baby.
Exactly. So, I mean, you would want him to still be involved. So, you would want him to find a way to gain some ownership with the Cardinals and not have to go.
You do not want to lose Larry Fitzgerald. Full stop.
Yeah, it'll happen though, because I don't even think I could think of a single instance when a player was able to get involved with the team that they played for.
I hear that. Larry Fitzgerald is an outlier though. So if there's one cat who could do it, I would say it's him. But also, he doesn't just have domestic interests; he has international interests. So he could end up being part of an ownership group of soccer.
This is true, but if Derek Jeter has to fucking buy the Marlins, then nobody gets to buy their team.
But I mean, Derek Jeter played for the Yankees, the most expensive.
I know. Well, I mean, he doesn't own. He's the face of the ownership group. He's not the owner.
Right. I know that, but that's how you got to start.
It's like Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony own part of the Dolphins. They sold minority ownership pieces to a bunch of celebrities to try to make going to Dolphins game like a thing.
Yeah, I know Usher had part of the Cavaliers for a time. You know what I mean?
Justin Timberlake might be involved with the Grizzlies, I think.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So that's a great investment for these guys who have this capital.
It makes sense. I mean, if you're the Cardinals, you got to keep Larry involved somehow.
But see, for Justin Timberlake, he's from Tennessee, so that's to be able to buy from where you're actually from.
Well, it also helps that was a newer team that had been relocated recently within their their lineage. So who knows who? I don't even know who owns that team. Like, who fucking knows? So I would say he does, and I know he's only just the face of the ownership group because I know how it works. They did the same thing with
Jay-Z
the Nets and Jay-Z. They gave him like 0.01% and then just said he was an owner, so you could legally say it.
I think he had like 0.2 or something.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous.
But then after a few years, they couldn't get LeBron. But but they did get they did mount the playoff team, and then after a couple of years, he sold, and he made his money. I mean, it's like,
it's a great investment because they didn't have to invest any money. Just use my likeness.
Because now, think about this, like that whole area has now been refurbished.
Get gentrified.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's like, it's foul how it has to happen, how it happens that way. But yeah, you don't even if you're from that area from a certain era, you don't even recognize what you see right now.
Yeah, the only reasons I ever go to that area is to go to the Barclays or go to Shake Shack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went a couple years ago. I couldn't recognize shit.
Yeah.
I'd be over in Harlem and all that, just hanging out and shit.
Right. And listen, in Harlem, the plan to re-snatch Harlem was from the late 80s. And they got it in the early 2Gs. And it's been unrecognizable ever since.
Well, I live at the heart of gentrification, Brooklyn. It is.
Brooklyn been gone. Brooklyn been bye-bye.
Yeah, but I live in Bushwick.
Parts.
Kerry, Bushwick is. So you got right now it's one street of Old Bushwick, and then the next street over will be New Bushwick.
Exactly.
And then the next one's Old Bushwick, and it just alternates right now. And then eventually those ones in the middle will be taken up.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's already gone. And one of the clearest indications of when you know your hood is gone is when you see the Starbucks. You see Starbucks, your hood gone, baby.
Yo, Kerry, you been to Red Hook lately?
Nah.
Yo, so they got fucking...
Red Hook been gone, though.
Yo, they got crab shacks and shit over there now.
Red Hook, as soon as you said IKEA, Red Hook...
Yo, so Roger Harper, they call Red Hook Dead Hook for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of it is the end of the train. Well, the end of it, there's no way into the city. There's only you go in and out one way, and it's the project. Yeah, the projects are all at the end, and it is particularly violent over there.
The Navy Yards, the whole thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, a lot of bodies end up over there and shit. But now it's crab shacks and Starbucks and like bars and like it's nuts. It's crazy.
Destination, you could take a ferry over there. You know what I'm saying? Don't necessarily have to take the island course.
No, you know what, Kerry? It's funny. I wonder why it took so long for that area, considering how close to Manhattan it is, that you would just have to set up like a ferry to get to Manhattan to Red Hook. I mean, it stayed that way because there is only one way in and out, and there's no public transportation. Like,
there's stages to this thing.
Yeah,
stages.
But yo, when I went over there, I saw.
Remember, Williamsburg used to just be industrial as fuck. You only went to Williamsburg, drugs or hookers. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, not now.
You go to Williamsburg for anything else but that. Now Williamsburg
is Europe.
Basically.
Yeah, you go to Williamsburg, you're basically in like London somewhere.
It's trash.
Yeah, it's
hipster central. I mean, it's like it's gross and disgusting and like a whole nother way. I personally give me the hoes and the boppers.
I'll take modern day Bushwick.
At least I know what they're about, and at least I know they're just trying to like They're just trying to get to another day.
Nah, I'll take living at the edge of gentrification because you get the mix of everything. Because once it gets taken over, and it does become Spain, all of a sudden you're in like Madrid, and it's just like, oh my god.
It sounds more like East Berlin.
You're hilarious.
It becomes something that you see in a Blade movie. One of them Eastern European cities you see in one of them Blade movies. That's what it becomes.
A lot of hair products in Williamsburg these days.
A lot of that. Yeah, tons of that. Yes, all that.
That's hilarious, yo. That is hilarious. Yo, the last time I was over there, I didn't even recognize it. And I used to live there. I was just like, wow, this is, it's different.
No need for me to be over there.
Well, you know what? Let me shut this down because we only got a couple minutes, and then we'll talk about the Cardinals when we open it back up. Now we're back to a regular schedule. All right, let's talk about these Cardinals when we tap back in for our third hour of gray matter. And I believe we might be joined by Nice this time. I know I keep saying it. I didn't promise. I just said it might happen. Schedule will be last. All right. Let's see. None of that matters.
Boyaka.
Yo, so I guess Arizona's where you go to retire? Is that what we're doing now in Arizona?
I mean, Florida, Arizona. I mean, if you like that dry heat,
You got AJ Green and JJ Watt going over there.
Oh, you mean player-wise?
Yeah. Is this like the new retirement destination?
Charles Barkley did it. So I don't know how much you explored Arizona. Phoenix, Scottsdale is where that money is at. A lot of boob jobs and Botox.
All right, so you pick up JJ.
Scottsdale is this. Scottsdale is BBC.
A lot of golf out there.
Scottsdale is BBC. Boob jobs, Botox, and Google.
This is true.
So if you love dry heat, if tropical, humid climate is not for you, you want that dry. Yeah, Arizona. I mean, there's parts of it. I mean, Sedona. This parts of it is very beautiful. Plains, and if you're into crystals and all that, there's a whole community of that.
All right, so are these moves enough to be relevant in their division? Because now this division has Matthew Stafford at quarterback for a Rams roster that's loaded, especially at the coaching and offensive mindset. So the Rams are, with that defense, are already relevant. So now you add in Matthew Stafford, who has, by all reports, has been dazzling in camp. The Niners are always going to be relevant. Their coaching staff is excellent. Their front office is incredible. And then the Seahawks, they still have Russ. So, coming from the bottom of the division, this team made big moves. J.J. Watt, A.J. Green, how much do you guys have left in the tank? I think the biggest move is Rodney Hudson from the Raiders. That's an all-pro center that you just picked up. So that's a big fucking deal. This helps your quarterback, who is very diminutive. But he could fucking play. He's got a great arm. They also signed Max Garcia and Brian Winters. These are also other vets added to the offensive line. They also got Malcolm Butler. I did not know. I did not. Too much shit going on. Wasn't really paying attention. I did not know that they got Malcolm Butler. This supposedly to make up for Patrick Peterson moving on. It is Malcolm Butler though. This is a All-Pro, former All-Pro, so he can play still. He's still young. I think he's only like 30. And then, Colt McCoy signed there too. Hilarious. I did not know that. See, Colt McCoy's another one of those. Everybody must like this guy. This guy's been a backup quarterback for a long time. They also got James Conner at running back from Pittsburgh. It's another big pickup. And then, see if any of these guys even matter. No, none of you guys do. All right, there we get. Wow, damn. They have changed their entire roster, it looks like. Jesus Christ. A bunch of... Darquez Denard, did he ever pan out at all? Michigan State, right?
He had, he had a couple years with Cincinnati, but he kept getting hurt.
Well, we'll see. Well,
that's the biggest thing. But when he got on the field, when he had a little consistency of being on the field, he was all right. But it's just that he was oft injured.
All right. So in Cardinals news, top draft pick Zaven Collins is in some legal trouble right now.
Oh.
Yeah. Might not make it to camp. I can't remember what it is that he did, but he is in some legal trouble right now.
Linebacker. Big deal.
Big deal because they expect a lot out of this kid.
With Boise State, way to go.
Yeah.
But big time linebacker.
Somewhere out there, somewhere out west.
Yeah, he had like one of the blue uniforms.
Reckless driving. That's not a big deal, but he did get arrested.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. He'll be getting reps. And he'll be getting... Also, we got to talk about Isaiah Simmons. He's still there.
Oh, he was going 76 and a 35.
So you have to really get somewhere. You have to double down.
Probably late for practice. That's what I would have told him. I'm late for practice. I'm a Cardinal.
Right.
Or you can go with the classic Keith Chief defense. When the officer asked him if he knew how fast he was driving, he said, "Yeah, I know I was driving fast. It's a fast car. That's why I bought it."
Okay.
He's a rookie who just signed his first rookie deal, got a new Mercedes. I'd be like, "Yeah, come on, man. Like, come on. What do you want me to do? I'm 21. Look at this car."
Like, but just a quick question though. Didn't anyone ever have to like use the bathroom really badly and then not want to do it in the street? So they were just trying to make it to a restroom? That's not valid. Not valid? No. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was for. I thought it was something serious. That's not serious. Whatever.
That's serious. It would be a camp. It'd be fine.
Yeah, that's fine. He's going to be able to P's and Q's, though. He's going to have to be. All right, so let's get into their roster. Kyler Murray is a starter. They now have Colt McCoy as their backup.
Good backup. He can do the same. I mean, he could do the same thing a little slower.
A little bit whiter. Chase Edmonds and now James Conner in the backfield, and then some players I don't know of. So that's not a strong backfield because James Conner, there are health concerns.
Chase Edmonds, fantasy-wise, my dark horse to get busy this year. He's tough, runs hard, and he can catch the rock. Chase Edmonds.
So it's funny because they do not have Larry Fitzgerald on their roster.
Really? But we've heard no news about Larry Fitzgerald.
That's very telling because these rosters are up to date day by day.
So there must. So from my thought process, there may be a deal in place to have him in the organization, a la Eli Manning rejoining the G's to be a part of fan engagement. So I feel like maybe if Larry's not going to play this year, he's still going to have a role in the organization.
100%.
With discussions of him maybe going into a GM. I don't know, maybe GM realm, but him talking ownership, or at least somewhere up that. He's not going to be a coach. He's going to be a GM or an owner. I'm thinking owner.
Owner, because he likes to travel and
I'm thinking owner, exactly. I'm
study
thinking
and do shit like that.
Owner. Larry Fitzgerald is owner.
And he really likes to play golf, so that coaching shit's out the window. So DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella as your starting wide receiver core. They did let the tight end go. I can't remember his name, but at the end of the year.
No, sorry. Arnold.
Yeah, Dan Arnold. Yeah. They let him go, so we'll see. Because I liked him. He showed some flashes.
And I told you, like, he was a fantasy dark horse, and he got you some points because,
Yeah, so they upgraded their offensive line, which had to happen. You have a small quarterback who runs a lot. But no, he doesn't really run because he wants to.
He runs when it dictates.
Yeah, he would rather throw it.
That's Russell Wilson. He is really Russell Wilson 2.0.
Yeah.
Because he only runs when it truly dictates.
He's like Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. It's Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Yeah. He's Hustle Wilson.
Just the two of us. Just make it. They got to do a commercial. That would be hysterical.
I think they will. You know they will.
Yeah, Russell had the ill Jerry curl going. That would be dope. Defensive side of the ball completely overhauled, basically. So J.J. Watt showing up really changes things for Chandler Jones, who's already an NFL leading sack artist. Because I don't care what year it is, J.J. Watt still commands. You have to at least.
So now it's on. So now Chandler Jones is in the same position as Jadeveon Clowney was when he first joined the Texans. He has to stay healthy and on the field because the last couple of seasons, Chandler Jones has been getting hurt. So just like Jadeveon Clowney was getting hurt his first few seasons with the Texans, and he also had J.J. Watt on his opposite side. So now it behooves Chandler Jones to stay healthy. He's going to get a great boost. He was already killing it on that side. Now you got J.J. Watt absorbing still two people at all times.
All times.
He expands that. So now Chandler Jones, even if he's just thinking about himself, Chandler Jones should be thinking about getting 22 to 25 sacks.
Yeah. That's one player that I was not happy that the Patriots let go. I was just like, why are we doing this? Why? This guy he led the league in sacks last year. We might need him.
He's long, he's athletic, he's quick, strong. I mean, brothers John Jones. I mean, you don't think that they spar? Like, he's always working on his hand moves, maneuvers, and all that. Like,
They did pick up Jordan Phillips on the defensive line. That helps.
Yeah. Out of Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big pickup. And then Zaven Collins is now you got Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons. And they also picked up Marcus Golden. So that's a pretty quick linebacking core.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be able to move.
And you got a couple Swiss Army knives because Isaiah Simmons is a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, I can't wait till they just let him play.
Yeah, they didn't really let him loose this past year, and it's okay. He got a couple, and a couple times he got an interception. Like he's made a difference the few times he's touched the field. So,
all right,
but I think it's time to unleash him.
All right, so in they do have one of the best safeties in football. Buda Baker is really fucking good.
Absolutely.
Losing Patrick Peterson though, that's a huge loss, both on the field and in the locker room.
At this point, it's a huger loss in the locker room than it is on the field. it would have been a bigger loss on the field if he had already conceded to move to safety, and it could have been him and Buda Baker. And I think that really changes the complexion of the Cardinals feet and really like puts them on another level. If he would have switched to safety, I think that would have been the best move in terms of what the Cardinals could be doing.
All right, so let me look at one thing before we talk about. He must be new then. So, that was scoring. Where's defense? Trying to see this other safety. How good is he? Why didn't? I know he doesn't want to switch. He must have not played with them last year because he is not. Either that or they just drafted him. All right, let me see who this kid is. It's Jalen something. Well, I mean, we've talked about it almost like 2 seasons of this at this point. How has he not transitioned? So that it's a matter of extending your effectiveness on the career for a longer period of time. You can move to safety and allow your brain to be the biggest muscle that you're utilizing.
Think about this: if you're an all-pro corner, right, for multiple seasons, you pick that right season to say to yourself, younger talent is coming in, a little bigger, maybe a little faster than I am at this point, but what they don't have is this. They can't outwit me here. I moved to safety. Right now at this point, I'm in year 8, year 9. Bang. My first year, or at least second year, I'm looking at all pro status again. I'm looking at least Pro Bowl. If I'm a little dicey on things, but I'm looking Pro Bowl. I'm looking for Pro Bowl All Pro status by second year. Charles Woodson did it. Rod Woodson did it. I mean, there's other people who are not named Woodson who have done this, but you know what I'm saying. But Woodson's, if your last name is Woodson, play corner and then transition to safety, you might make the Hall of Fame.
Pretty much.
So that's what I was looking at for Patrick Peterson. He's in year what now? Because I'm saying if you're an all-pro corner by year 8, 9, I'm thinking about the transition. Because now I can go from year 9 to year 16, 17 at safety, and I have at least another 5 years of dominance at the safety position.
I mean, don't you think, Roger, that he figured it out in practice every day when DeAndre Hopkins was just giving him that fucking work?
I bet he did. Top of his game,
Yeah.
So I'm sure he figured it out.
He's literally the best receiver in football right now. He's putting it on to everybody. So Patrick Peterson on the decline is getting that work every day.
Yes. So you had to see it. Yeah, you're like, come on, man. Yo, okay. If I just moved over here, check this out. And then you get another young up-and-coming corner who you can mentor.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing they don't talk about. Rod Woodson mentored the young corners while he was in his transition. Charles Woodson did the same. Well, come on now. All right. Come on now.
This is 2021. This is what you get.
Charles Woodson did the same mentorship for the corners for position for whence he once played.
I was just trying to think of a funny name for Rod Woodson to switch, and I couldn't. It was going in my head. It was funny the whole time, and I didn't even have one.
Good.
Hilarious. Anyway, so this is what we like to do before we look at their schedule based off of last year and these roster moves. What do you think they're going to go?
All right. Well, I got to think about.
I'm giving them 5. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That Matt Stafford move really is doing something to you.
It does, but also, you know that I don't like Cliff Kingsbury.
I
you know that I don't like
I
Cliff.
I don't know what your beef is, neighbor, but I don't know if it's because of his glass house that he showed on during the draft. I don't know. I don't know what it is because he has just a huge, long chin, square jaw.
I think maybe the fact that he had a losing record in a very short time in college and then just jumped to a head coaching job in the NFL. I thought that was kind of odd.
But I will tell you what he did do. He threw for over 500 yards in a college game or two at Texas Tech, and then he coached the guy who threw for 700 yards.
That's the thing. That's how good Patrick Mahomes is. His coach got a job. They weren't even any good, and he got a job.
But, listen to this. Give this man some credit. He said, going, getting a job, knowing that Josh Rosen was already on the roster, and Cliff already was giving his roses to Kyler Murray. Like, nah, this guy. You saved your franchise from Josh Rosen, who I can safely say saved your franchise from, because where is Josh Rosen now?
All right, the Rosen one is gone. So, all right, so Cliff Kingsbury is the new Pete Carroll.
So what I'm saying is, because of Cliff Kingsbury, you got Kyler Murray. So people in Arizona feel different about this.
I mean, let's see.
Cliff Kingsbury was a good look for them because Cliff Kingsbury wanted Kyler Murray. They dipped on Josh Rosen, and clearly Kyler Murray is on the ascent. Where's Josh?
Are we caught up in the Hail Murray, or is he actually on the ascent?
Not caught up on Hail Murray. Caught up on all the shit he can actually do. When I say Russell Wilson 2.0, he's faster than Russell has ever been. He's quicker. He knows how to slide like Russell. He has accuracy and almost a deep ball like Russell. The only thing that Russell does that he doesn't have over Russell is as many years in the league and a dominant defense that Russell had.
So I'm looking at this.
Get chip.
I'm looking at this 3-6 record after the bye last season that tells me I don't like Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay, but also we gotta
You gotta prove something to me. That chin don't do it for me. It ain't enough. The chin in your glass house ain't enough.
Their defense, Chandler Jones, we already knew, been gone. Their defense was compromised for the majority of the season. Let's be honest. Buda Baker was their shining star.
All right, we know all this, so give me a number, because what we're going to see when we look at this list is why I think 5.
Okay, so let me run through the NFC West real quick. So we're talking Seattle, we're talking San Francisco, and we're talking the Rams. Now, if I got to think about it, Rams, obviously on paper, are slanting toward the number 1 spot right now. We don't know what the 49ers are going to look like right now, because we don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like. And major people are returning from injury in major positions. Don't quite know what they look like, but we know that they are a scrappy, well-coached team, so they're going to be in the mix. And let's see, Seattle, right? We don't know what that defense is going to look like. The Legion of Boom is done. And we haven't seen a good Seattle defense in a few years now. And they did not get better on the offensive line. So we are only going to see the skill set again of Russell Wilson, if Carson can stay healthy, and those wide receivers. We're not going to really see what they looked like when they could pound it with Marshawn Lynch when they had a stout offensive line. So Seattle dips. So with that said, I'm looking at a Cardinals team that was in their own division. The Cardinals should beat everyone in their division The only team that has a chance to sweep them is the Rams. Other than that, the Cardinals will, at the very least, split with the other teams, if not sweep San Francisco, and if not sweep Seattle. So if they sweep the both of them, that's 4 wins. I don't know if they can get a win on LA, but Matt Stafford does turn the ball over, so let's say 1. That's 5 wins there.
I'm going 4-14.
Thank you.
I looked at the schedule.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough.
I don't know the rest of the schedule. I'm just thinking about the division.
Yeah,
Who
so
else do you play?
not just give me a number, Kerry. Give me a number. There's 17 games this year. Roger says 4. I'm giving him 5.
Okay, based on what I said about the division, I think they get at least 4 games out of the division.
Yeah, but how many total? We're just before we break into.
So I'm gonna say 7 to 8. So I'm gonna say 7 right now, but it could jump to 8.
All right, so week 1 at Tennessee. There's a loss. You're taking a loss. Derrick Henry's running all over everybody. Get out of here.
All right.
Julio Jones in town for the first time. Big numbers coming out of that guy. Week 2, Minnesota. Interesting game. Kind of a toss-up, possibly. I do say that Arizona has a good home record. Their away record is what always seems to get them over the past couple of years. So, any toss-up where Arizona is at home, I will give it to them.
Yeah.
So, then at Jacksonville.
Win.
Let me think about that for a second.
You got a lot of veteran players on their team. Hopefully a good quarterback.
Also, you're talking about a hot game in Jacksonville at 1 o'clock. And the Cardinals are they don't practice.
Cardinals play in Arizona.
They don't practice or play in the desert.
They don't. I know the humidity is different, but they play in the sun.
I just know that any team, no matter what, that goes to a humid Miami, Jacksonville, those two, Tampa doesn't really get that humid label, but those two teams, you go down there early in the season. Look what happened to New England. Every time they go to Miami early, they go down there and get stomped.
If you said New England, it's Arizona. New England don't deal with the sun like Arizona deals with the sun.
Let's not
be foolish about this.
I just hate Cliff Kingsbury. That's all.
You're letting your hate overrule you right now. So let's think about talent-wise. Talent-wise, Arizona has it over Jacksonville. Let's not be silly.
They playing that game out of the country. It looked like 10 a.m. game.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Oh, that means that one's over in London, then, because Jacksonville plays every year. They're basically the London team.
Oh, so you know what I mean? So then home field is a wash.
The only thing that I would look for is
fucking talent on talent alone.
No, the only factor is if Arizona has done this trip before, then the whole travel thing it's completely mitigated. It doesn't matter at all because Jacksonville, the one thing that they have is they have done this every single year. They're kind of used to it at this point. Mm-hmm. The players have complained that the first time that they do that, it's really weird. It's such a long trip.
And Jacksonville is closer, but I will say just straight talent-wise,
completely.
Arizona's better than Jacksonville.
All right, so that's 2-1. They're out to a stellar start.
Yes.
At the Rams. Matthew Stafford's getting busy.
I'll give him 2-2. All right, take that out.
San Francisco. I think they'll split with San Francisco. I'll give them a split.
So I'll give this one.
It's at home. We'll give them the home game, and then they have to play at Cleveland. Cleveland is absolutely stacked and loaded, loaded.
So now we're what, 3-3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Houston. They're going to be Houston. Houston's going to be the worst team in football this year.
Yeah. 4-3.
Green Bay, looking like Aaron Rodgers is going to come back.
Is it?
Yeah, he would have gone somewhere else already. We're getting close.
Denver still not on the table?
Possibly, but that's like the last team that's out there. That's like down to them or going back. So what they're saying now is all the players who are.
So you know what I'm gonna do with this one? I'm gonna put this as a tie right now because I don't know shit about this. So where we at now?
3-3-1.
3-3-1. Okay.
At San Francisco, so that's the opposite side of the split. So this is a loss. And then Carolina. Interesting.
Where at?
It's in. It's actually in Arizona. They get it. All right, so now we're 4-4 in one.
Mhm.
At Seattle, I believe they'll probably split with Seattle also.
Now that Seattle actually has fans, and is it in Seattle? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, they might split with Seattle on this one. So okay, so 4-5-1.
All right, so then we have what seems to be the Cardinals' Achilles heel, the bye week, and they seem to struggle after the bye week.
Okay.
I hate Cliff Kingsbury.
No.
So then they play at Chicago. I think Justin Fields will be the starter by now. In Chicago, the Bears will be a completely different team.
Where they play?
It's in Chicago.
What month?
December. Yeah.
Mm.
That's Chicago.
Mm.
That's a loss.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay, so let's say 4-6-1.
All right. Then they play the Rams again, and we don't think they're going to be able to beat the Rams this year.
4-7-1.
All right. So then at Detroit. Detroit sucks.
5-7-1.
And then the Colts, who are loaded, and if Carson Wentz is even a tenth of what he's capable of, that team is really good.
5-8-1.
That's a loaded roster, dude. They're stacked.
5-8-1.
At Dallas, healthy Dak, different team.
5-9-1.
And then last game of the year at Seattle. No, it's home against Seattle, and we said they would split, so that's 6.
6-8-1.
All right, so
Like I said. Well, I said 7-8. So okay, 6-7. That one tie could be, win, loss, whatever.
it could be, but what the overall
It's
consensus
like 6.
is the Cardinals are going to suck this year. There are super teams in the NFL now. You have to be one of the elite 4 to even have a chance, and they are not even the elite in their division.
See, the only, and this is the thing that makes the most difference. If Chandler Jones can stay healthy and J.J. Watt could just be the best J.J. Watt that he could be right now,
J.J. Watt, everybody.
which he still gets double teamed right now, still. If he could just be that guy and then allow Chandler Jones to do what Chandler Jones does, Chandler Jones could very well break the sack record
He could get Defensive Player of the Year this year, possibly.
held by Michael Strahan. And if they give Isaiah Simmons some time, who is an athletic freak, so you have an athletic freak on, well, you have really 2 athletic freaks on the defensive line, one aged, one in his prime. You have Isaiah Simmons, maybe Zaven Collins, I don't know, probably. But Isaiah Simmons is a legit athletic freak in the linebacker line. You have Buda Baker, who is an athletic freak in the secondary line. So you have in each level of the defense an athletic freak who can make a play. So with that said, this 6 could easily turn to 8.
This 6 could easily turn to 3. This team's going to suck. I tell you what this team is. This team is the new it team that never got good.
You're not hearing what I'm saying now, because being that they passed so much more than they did before, where they ran, so you had to defend.
All right, 8 wins. That's not even a playoff spot.
Now we're talking about more sack opportunities, more interception opportunities. And if we're talking about athletic freaks getting these interceptions, now we're talking about interception returns for touchdowns.
Now we're talking about a draft pick in the mid-teens instead of up high in the top of the draft.
See, I hear what you're saying, but see, my mind right now is thinking about the game right now.
I know. But, what I'm thinking about is how they're this.
So I'm giving the Cardinals more props, and this obviously it's really contingent if Chandler Jones can stay healthy and then really take advantage, and then also if J.J. Watt could stay healthy because he hasn't really held up over the past few years.
Nah, this is the new.
Stay healthy, and I could see what J.J. Watt does and what Chandler Jones does. We got interesting talent on each level. Listen, I'm giving them the bennies.
This is the NFL. There's interesting talent on every roster.
All right, so we're solid on 6 wins. I could say it could go up to 8 wins. And could the NFC West be the NFC East of last year and 8 wins is enough? Everybody thinks the NFC East is going to be Garbaggio again. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Y'all are wrong.
I think it's more going to be like, trying to think of a recent example that would make sense. The Titans with Steve McNair and Jeff Fisher. The team that was supposed to win and supposed to be good because they're always good on paper. They have all these players and they just never get it done. Though they did make it to one Super Bowl, these Cardinals won't sniff a Super Bowl.
Hey, if it wasn't for Mike Jones, the one and only Mike Jones, my man would have scored.
I mean,
they still would have had to convert.
There's a lot of Super Bowls that come down to one penultimate play. But all I'm saying is this is the new team that's supposed to be good. They got their young head coach, glass house, sculpted chin, great 5 o'clock shadow, lots of products in his hair, all that stuff, and they're just not going to be that good.
That's where you're wrong. That's your hatred for Cliff Kingsbury. The team that's supposed to be good right now is the Cleveland Browns. That's the team that's supposed to be good. They're the team that has the most pressure on them this year.
They have just went to the playoffs, so
and then with all their additions, they're looking to go to the Super Bowl.
Of course.
You also have the Bills, who also have this big expectation.
Yeah, you see what happens when you're a good team? You have Super Bowl ambitions. The Cardinals do not have Super Bowl ambitions.
They have ambitions, but what I'm saying is those ambitions can be burdens quickly.
They can, but there's not
playing just right under the radar to be the ones who rise up.
The way the NFL is structured this year, especially with the Bucs being in the NFC, there is not a single player on that roster, that Cardinals roster, that actually believes that they have a Super Bowl team, except J.J. Watt because he's an eternal optimist. He doesn't know how to not be optimistic.
You don't need to have a Super Bowl team. You just need to have a playoff-making team.
They're not going to make the playoffs either.
We'll see.
It's not going to happen. Cliff Kingsbury, he has to go. He's got to go.
That's a lot of hate.
At this point, I'm just doing it because it's funny.
I mean, do you have any silk? What sort of fabric do you have on you right now? I just want to know what kind of ball you're at right now. It's just very ballish right now. I just want to know what kind of fabrics you're wearing this evening.
I hate Cliff Kingsbury. I hate him, and I ain't even met him yet, and I hate him. Hate.
You must be wearing some shiny tap dance shoes or some boots.
Now, you have known that from the beginning, I have said I do not like, football-wise, I do not like this pairing of head coach and quarterback. It's not going to work at this level.
But this is the wave, because this is the AAU wave. This is these teams, the quarterback guru, the quarterback coach grabbing the quarterback.
I get all that, but it's just
grade and being with them from 7th grade through college, and then all of a sudden, as the player ascends, so does said quarterback guru coach, and then they ascend with them.
Yeah, I know, but you just said it yourself. Even if things go well, possibly 8, which is not even a winning season in this modern day NFL of 17
You're
games.
right. But we've also seen teams that have made it to playoffs winning 7 games. So 8 is the new 7. So if you can win 8 games in a season, if you're in a suck division, you can make it to the playoffs.
This is true, but they have a team that is not terrible. This isn't a division where all of the teams suck, and then the division winner is going to eke out with 7 wins. The division winner in this division is not walking away with this division with 7 or 8 wins. It's not happening.
Right. So as I said, I predict the Rams to be the walk-away winner, but If you're telling me the 49ers and the Seahawks are my competition for second, I'm saying I got the best chance out of any of them to take that spot. Absolutely.
So then you would have to think about other teams that could possibly be in a wild card
Now I'm
position.
thinking about other divisions. Yeah, so now I'm thinking about the NFC South. Think about in the NFC South.
All right, so I'm looking at the other teams, and I'll give it to you. They could possibly eke into the back end of the playoffs because it is a super Saturday now with an extra. I get it. They could eke in, but we shall see.
My whole point.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the rest of the divisions. You know Tampa's going to run away with theirs.
My whole point.
If Aaron Rodgers plays, Green Bay's running away with theirs. And then the NFC East, as always, is a complete and total toss-up every single year. We have no fucking idea what's going to happen.
So there's no reason why there couldn't be two teams out the NFC West and the Cardinals be the next team as a wild card.
Yeah, I could see that. They could possibly eke in, but they won't because they have the worst head coach in the history of head coaches.
Really? In the history of head coaches?
No, I won't give him that.
Okay.
That I won't quite give him that moniker.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm just being facetious at this point. It's hilarious, but I have the care. I've said it from the beginning. They're not going to be any good. I don't know why. I just watching the whole Kingsbury experience at Texas Tech because I'm a WVU fan and they're in the Big 12. I'm just like, that guy got the job. That guy, they suck though. They're not any good.
I think the Cardinals are going to be better than what we're saying right now.
We shall see. So, this one's shutting down. So I appreciate your guys' time as always.
It did get nice, so we could talk about the NBA real quick.
Fuck the NBA. We got less than a minute. Chris Paul's getting his first title. That's the NBA.
I love it. I'm also pulling for the Suns. Giannis got hurt. So if you're telling me Giannis is done for the Bucks, then I'm telling you the Bucks are done for the playoffs. Even if Trae Young doesn't play another game in this series.
Oh yeah, the Hawks are up by 20 right now.
Right,
and
Giannis is gone.
Yeah, so congratulations, Chris Paul. If you're in a state where FanDuel allows you to vote or to bet on game or championships and things of that nature, I would put some money on the Suns to win their first title and Chris Paul possibly get his a Finals MVP because they'll do it out of nostalgia if he has pretty good solid numbers.
Phoenix, so even if you couldn't do it in Arizona, you could do it in Vegas. So I'm sure he could.
Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen for him. Good for him though. He deserves it. Puts a stamp on his career. That's always good.
Indeed.
So, all right, fellas, we will be in touch.
Peace.
All right. So, now I've got to go do some other things because I went straight from the golf course to gray matter like I always do on Tuesday. So, I will see you Thursday for Beat Boutique.